My name's Mark. I accessed quite a broad range of services from North Staffordshire Combined Healthcare. I was in Heartlands for about a month. I accessed the early intervention team. I accessed Step On, and now I'm working for them. I was provided housing through Revival. I still go to the Ashcombe Centre for my monthly depot. I got into these services in 2017. I went into Heartlands around about April 2017, and I finally got my job here 2018. So it was like about a 2 or 3 year period of hitting crisis to rehabilitation, and that's kind of where I am now. I was diagnosed with psychosis-related depression. You can get psychosis from experiencing a trauma or from substance misuse, and I have to admit mine was a bit of both, really. It wasn't very intrusive. That's one of the surprises with it. I thought that it would be like go on the ward and now be in your business every 5 minutes, but they pretty much left you to get on with your own time there. When I was there, I spent the whole month redoing one puzzle, doing the puzzle, then breaking it down, and then redoing it again. I think that's one of the aspects of mental health is you need to be able to keep yourself distracted, and that sometimes it can be doing like quite menial things, like colouring in books and stuff like that, but anything that's going to keep yourself distracted is a good thing. I went from Heartlands into a Rethink property, which is a group in Cheadle. I understand that they've got properties all over the county, and they basically provide accommodation for people that have had mental health issues. Then somewhere between there, I got involved with the early intervention team, which is where I met Fiona Wilson, and they introduced me to a number of things like CBT therapy and various talking therapies, and they was quite accessible. They bent over backwards to help me. There was the time Fiona told me that all of the nurses and doctors would do their best for me, but I had to ultimately take responsibility for my own recovery. I think if I hadn't been told that, I don't think I would have progressed to this point of the journey. It fortified my own situation, or my own persona, and it just motivated me to get myself better and to not go off the deep end so quickly with people. Maria up at Step On is absolute angel. She is. She helped me with my benefits. There was times like when my benefits would get cancelled because when I started working, I was working over the hours, so they cancelled my benefits, but she got them all reinstated for me. That was a big relief. You can imagine the daily stresses of having to pay the weekly bills and stuff, but knowing that you haven't got the money there to do it, that was aggravating my condition. But Maria sorted all that out. I mean, as I say, I find it a little bit confusing that the NHS and the DWP don't work closer together, simply because there's so many of their combined patients are the same patients, or clients, shall we say. When I first walked into their offices, they probably thought, like we're helping with his CV, helping with doing the interview techniques and all that sort of stuff. But really what I needed to be being made to calm down a little bit, because I was such an angry person. If they hadn't have been so supportive, patient, caring, professional, that was very important. Knowing where I stand with them. If they hadn't attended to those foundations, they probably would never have got me back into work. So I'm a healthcare support worker now, and it come through me through Step On, through Maria actually. And Maria asked me what sort of job I do want. So I explained to her I wanted a job within the NHS. I wanted a job that had like a security and benefits that everybody has. And she suggested applying for a support worker's role, so I did that. She helped me with the application form, interview techniques, and it went from there, and that's how I ended up here. I think it helps me empathise with the patients. It helps me to identify fears that someone might have coming into the service, and the importance of explaining like the next steps along the treatment, and to get out of this like living and into your independent living. I'd like to think that anyone that's here, regardless of someone's background, they can come and approach me and tell me what their problem is, what their fears are, and I can relieve those to the best of my ability. Before I went into crisis, I spent a lot of time at the Stoke Recovery Centre, which was in Hanley. I don't know if anyone's aware of it, but it's basically a group to help people that were recovering from drug addiction. And they used to provide like groups for people to go along to, and it was kind of like a release to be able to talk to people that were going through the same sort of problems. So yeah, so I think they could do more with investing in community groups, you know, like meals and so on, providing them with the premises, providing them with the tools to have activities, you know, like whilst I'm here I play like bingo on a Wednesday, take people out on group walks. I don't see why they couldn't have a similar sort of situation, you know, like in Hanley, getting a building in Hanley and then having games, meals, and you know, and it's like a drop-in centre for people that are kind of like not down on their luck as such, but people that are lonely, isolated. I think we all feel that to a certain degree in today's society. I guess so. It's a bit of a catch-22 situation. As much as the NHS and provides these services, people have to actually go along to them as well. And I know that's hard, like when you're feeling really depressed and you don't want to see anyone, you don't want to talk to anyone, or you haven't talked to anyone for months, so the idea of going out and talking to people can be quite daunting at times. Going to places like the observatory just allows you to re-skill yourself, like you're socially, you know, learn new skills like hobbies. So that's what it's so. As much as the NHS needs to fund these things, people need to actually go along to them and brave it for a little bit. I think they can make it a bit easier for people to access the groups, you know, because just because you're not with North Staffordshire Combined Healthcare, I don't think that should really bar you from going to somewhere like the observatory. I think everyone should be able to go up to the observatory pretty much. The recruitment process is a bit long-winded, and it takes about 2-3 months to go from the interview, well, probably about 3 months from filling in the application forms to getting your start date. That can be really frustrating and quite debilitating. You know, if you've got bills to pay, you can't wait around for 3 months to are you going to maybe get a job or not, and maybe be a bit more, not so much relaxed on people's histories. But you know, I've made mistakes in my life, and I've done things wrong in life, but I think I serve quite well doing what I'm doing now. I think there's other people out there as well that have had deprived backgrounds, people that have been maybe got involved, had trouble with the police, and I think that they're worth investing in, because often they want to work harder than anyone else because they've got something to prove.